नमस्ते, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVM Dr. Lily Trivedi and I am going to take the lecture of BSc Agriculture second sem students in the course of Agriculture Microbiology, and the topic is Azolla, blue-green algae and mycorrhiza. Now, what is mycorrhiza, azolla, and blue-green algae? They come under biofertilizers. And what are biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are products containing living cells of different types of microorganisms which enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. So the main sources of biofertilizers are bacteria, fungi, and cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae. Now, most of the biofertilizers belong to one of the categories, any one like nitrogen fixing, phosphate solubilizing, mobilizing, and plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. The nitrogen fixing biofertilizers fix atmospheric nitrogen into forms which are readily usable by plants. And these nitrogen fixing bacteria include Rhizobium, Azospirillum, Azotobacter, blue-green algae, and Azolla. Now, biofertilizers have a definite advantage over the chemical fertilizers because they're economical, cheap, as compared to chemical fertilizer. Besides, in addition to nitrogen and phosphorus, they also provide growth promoting substances like hormones, vitamins, and amino acids, which improve the plant growth. Now, first we will take cyanobacteria or blue-green bacteria. Now, they have the ability to carry out photosynthesis and nitrogen fixation. And these algae have a beneficial effect. Why? Because of their exceptional good water holding capacity. They are able to concentrate nitrogen, phosphorus, fixed carbon, and trace elements. And they also have a soil binding capacity. They can scavenge sodium or they can remove sodium from the salt affected soils. That is a ecological advantage. Now these blue-green algae in, in the environment of rice seeds can decrease the sulfide and iron injury to plants. So the cyanobacteria also produce a number of plant growth substances like amino acids, small protein, peptides, sugar, complex polysaccharides, vitamins, and growth hormone. So the standing crop of nitrogen fixing blue-green algae range from 5 to 20 tons per hectare fresh weight and contribute to 30 kg nitrogen per season per hectare of rice field. So the bulk organic matter produced by algal growth remains in the soil and is also available for the next crop. Now here you can see some forms of blue-green algae. This is Anabaena, nostoc, and Geocapsa. This picture is of Azolla, which I have added here, but this is not a blue-green algae. Now, blue-green algae are also called cyanobacteria. They have heterocyst, which is capable of atmospheric nitrogen fixing. So, generally in India, we have Anabaena and nostoc. Now, these microorganisms are suitable under flooded rice conditions because they increase the yield by 6 to 35%, and we apply it at 10 kgs per hectare. So the maximum can be applied is 25 to 30 kg per hectare. And another reasons are they are easy to produce, they are mass produced in cement tanks, and no processing is required. They are very cheap and cost is about 30 to 40 rupees for 10 kg. And they are also beneficial for other crops like vegetables, cottons, and sugar canes. So they are examples, as already discussed, are Anabaena, nostoc, and Oscillatoria. Now let's come to the next microorganism, that is azolla. I've already shown you the picture. Azolla is found in still water in ponds, lakes and swamps, ditches and paddy fields of temperate and tropical regions. Because of the rapid growth and high nitrogen content and the ability to grow in still water, it is exploited as a fertilizer for rice. In India, it has been recently used. The nitrogen fixing ability and the rapid growth, the high biomass accumulation and the nitrogen content is the potential of azolla as a biofertilizer for rice. It is also used for hydrogen fuel, for the production of biogas, the control of mosquitoes, and the reduction of ammonia volatilization. Now, azolla is covering the water surface and reduces light penetration, and there is a depreciation of weed. Thus, azolla reduces weeds in flooded rice. The integrated use of azolla and fish farming in rice is being developed now, and the farmer can enhance his income. It can fix atmospheric nitrogen, carry out photosynthesis, and also the uptake of nutrients from the environment. Azolla is also used as a fodder for dairy cattle, pigs, chickens, fish, etc. And it can also be used for all types of vegetation and plantation crops. So azolla is a biofertilizer, provides a natural nutrient that is nitrogen and which is required by all. Now in some village communities, the azolla increases the overall milk yield also because it is used as fodder. Now the nutrition status of soil is increased, green manure, and the yield is increased by 15 to 20%. It is also used as a animal feed, human food, medicine, and water purifier. So nowadays what is happening, azolla and anabenna together are being used because azolla is a small eukaryotic aquatic fund, and prokaryotic blue-green algae Annabella resides in the leaves and of azolla, and it is used as a symbiont. So this association is very nice, and it is an alternative for chemical fertilizer. Now the third, which is biofertilizer, which is in your syllabus, is mycorrhiza. Now what is mycorrhiza? Rhiza means roots and myco means fungus. So this is a diagram showing where the fungus is entering the root and staying here. You can see here the clear diagram. The term mycorrhiza is fungus and roots, and it is a symbiotic association. In natural soils it occurs, and as well it is used for agriculture, horticulture, and 95% of plant taxa have mycorrhizal association. So what happens here, the fungi obtains carbon source from the host, and the host obtains the nutrient uptake from the fungi. So they are found by most vascular plants except monocotyledons, few like Cyperaceae, Juncaceae, and even few dicotyledons like Brassicaceae and Chenopodium. So mycorrhiza is divided into three morphological groups, that is endomycorrhiza, ectomycorrhiza, and endoectomycorrhiza, of which endomycorrhiza is an important fertilizer. So mycorrhiza has been very well proved for increasing plant growth. The increase in uptake of nutrients is there, especially phosphorus. So soil phosphorus is made available by these mycorrhiza. The external hyphae of mycorrhiza has a capacity to deliver other nutrients also, like ammonium ions, nitrite ions, potassium, calcium, sulfur, copper, zinc, and iron. The mycorrhiza produces ectoenzymes which provide the host the potential to access organic, nitrogen and phosphorus, which is unavailable to AMP fungi or non-mycorrhizal fruits. Now, under this category, the WAM fungi is also there, like Glomus species. So I have taken my lecture from these references. So thank you very much. If you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. This digital session was powered by 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Thank you very much. Namaste.